Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Africah Harrigan, and today I will be sharing with you my wear and tear video on the Louis Vuitton Sarah Multicartes. This is a fabulous piece to add to your collection. It is so cute and so compact. It is so mini and it fits inside of purses, large or small. So this is something that I will highly recommend. It is also a really versatile piece as well. And I have been using this as a business card holder as well as a wallet. And that's been really great because it's so small. Anyway, so let's go over the aesthetics of the piece. Let's talk about the wear and tears of it. This piece is 7 months old. So it has had quite some use, and I just wanted to go over some of that with you today. So in the front, it is an envelope shaped piece. It has the brass button that says Louis Vuitton engraved all around it. It's shaped like an envelope, and as you can see, the stitching there all around it is still in great shape. The brass button is a little bit scratched up. I don't know if you can see it really well, but the brass button does have hairline scratches on it. So although it's brass and it's not the cloth button, it lasts longer to me to still have the brass button over the cloth buttons. I find that the cloth buttons wear out too quickly from the constant use of opening and closing and snapping back. I would rather deal with scratches or hairline scratches on the brass, because at least it still has a golden figure. It still hasn't really worn out. It hasn't changed color as of yet. The only thing is that it's scratched up. There are hairline scratches on the brass button. However, let's talk about the stitching. The stitching so far, as you can see all around the leather cowhide portion of it. This is fuchsia, by the way. It's still impeccable. The stitching around it has not come off. It has not detached itself from it. All of it is still intact, and I really and truly like that. And Louis Vuitton really prides themselves in the stitching and making sure everything is well put together. And so far, they're living up to their name with the Sarah Multicartes, and that's great. Even alongside here, if you check out the stitching on the sides of it, everything is still intact. Everything, even on that side, you see the stitching is still intact there, and it's also intact here, and its stitching is also equally intact there. As you can see, it's a bit imprinted here. You don't see the card because there are no cards in there as of right now. However, you can see like a small, like, impressionable imprint of when I do have a card inside of the Louis Vuitton Sarah Multicartes. So you see it kind of printed through here and here. You can see it like perforating through a little bit through the canvas portion of it. Now the canvas is one continuous canvas. Did the canvas hold up? Yes. There are no holes. There are no, the logos are not worn out. You can take a closer look for yourself as well. The LV logo is upside down because it is one continuous canvas like I just mentioned, but you can see that it's not rubbed out. The Rev Fleur logos are not, everything is in place, you know? So that's the good part about the Louis Vuitton products, is that they age gracefully. There is like a minor, maybe a little minor little glitch right here, but it's so minor, and it's not necessarily a part of the logo. Is just a little minor scratch. So can you see that? And maybe that's just from putting it in a purse. Maybe something sharp touched it. I'm not sure. But it's really small. It's really small. So that's just a minor piece right there with the canvas. In the back here, you can see like it's a little bit perforated. I'm not sure why the fuchsia portion of it up here, because I don't think that the cards come all the way up here. The cards mainly stay below. As you can see, that there's a little bit of space between the cards, the top of the cards, and the actual curvature or covering of the piece. So you can see it right there. It's a little hole there, and that's great because it gives you time. But when you look at it from this angle, it looks like it has an underline perforated envelope there as well. I'm not sure what caused that. That's not a deterrent though. That shouldn't be a deterrent for you in purchasing this piece, because again, it's a good piece. It's really great, but you can see where the line kind of like perforated and double underneath the leather canvas. I know where that's from. That's from creasing. It has to be from creasing and opening it, because you can see that when I open it just now, You see like it kind of like comes down a little bit, bubbles a little bit, and the creases, there are a little bit of creases there. So that's probably what caused that. Anyway, so let's move on to the interior. The interior says made in France. The button continues, Louis Vuitton Paris made in France right there. And the interior slots, there are about 4 of them, 1, 2, 3, and 4 in the back. The slots are great. The slots are in great condition. As you can see, the slots do not go all the way down to the bottom, as far as it's not attached to this bottom piece. So like I had mentioned prior to in previous videos for the Louis Vuitton Sarah Multicartes, you cannot really use this as a coin purse. You can't hold coins in there. There's not a designated slot for coins. You can see for yourself, it's not attached. You see like the little light at the very bottom. So I'm letting you know that the slots are not attached to the bottom piece. When you look at the slots inside, the slots look really great. There aren't any scratches in there. There aren't any like coloring or anything off about it. So this is really intact. I don't have much wear and tear as it pertains to that. The accordion style portion of it still looks great. The brass buttons on both sides are still really shiny, and it really has a great look to it. It adds a nice decoration to the Sarah Multicartes to make the sides more interesting. So you see on that side the brass buttons have not aged, and in all honesty, these brass buttons don't even have a scratch on it like the front button does. The front button, definitely you can see hairline scratches and mini scratches. But one thing that I have to credit them for is that thus far, 7 months, it has not aged. The brass button is not turning, it's not tarnished. Even on the sides. Even on the sides, you can see the brass buttons still have a really nice shiny luster to it. When you look from the accordion portions, like I had mentioned in a previous video, the accordions are still in place, that nice little curvature right there. And that's mainly because I don't stretch it out. I don't stretch these out. I just place the cards in according to, you know, how it would fit. And mostly in the first 3 slots, it is best to just put your cards in from a diagonal angle instead of trying to put them in from one slot to one slot, because when you do that, you begin to push this portion out, and when this portion gets pushed out, it looks funny. You see how funny that looks pushed out? You know, so you don't really and truly want to deform your piece, and I wouldn't recommend doing that. So just to preserve the interior dip, angle dip right there, just put your cards in diagonally, okay? And everything should work out just fine. Overall, I do recommend this piece. I know that there is like a little bit of a crease in there when you open it, just a tad there, but I'm assuming that that's natural because it's on a crease. I'm assuming that that's natural on the crease. But when I go ahead and I snap the cards, when I snap it back, you don't really, like, the bubbling or the crease is gone. You don't really see it that much anymore, so it goes back to its original form. The Sarah Multicartes, I must say, still smells brand new. This is one of the very few Louis Vuitton pieces that I have that actually still has the rich Louis Vuitton smell that every product has when you first unbox it. After many times of using it, usually the smell would fade away. However, in this case, the Louis Vuitton Sarah Multicartes, the smell is still there, and I think that's like super cute to be able to feel like you just purchased this all over again. Anyway, so that's the Sarah Multicartes. I think we've covered everything. We've covered the canvas, we've covered the buttons, the wear and tear on the interior, underneath. Do I recommend this piece? Yes, I do recommend this piece, and the reason is because it's so compact. It fits into all of my purses. It even fits into my pants pocket if I wanted to place it in there, even though I rarely ever do that. I just put it inside of one of my bags. If you enjoyed this video, if you find this video helpful to you, give me a thumbs up. If you have any questions or comments about the Louis Vuitton Sarah Multicartes, then please feel free to leave a comment or a question in the comment box below. If you have not subscribed to my channel, please feel free to press the subscribe button and join my YouTube family. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'm Africah Harrigan. Stay beautiful.